Hello everybody, I'm Ollamh.
I'm Outlander.
And welcome back to the Nerdening. Now, I just got back from Indie PopCon this past weekend.
He brought me presents.
Yes, I got to meet Lloyd Kaufman, which was super cool. And actually, by the time this airs, I should already have the Indie PopCon video up, I hope.
And if you haven't watched it already, well, you should go do that after you finish this video.
But there was an interesting panel with the real big YouTubers, like Markiplier, Lord Minion, Jacksepticeye, MySkerm, and it's interesting because a lot of people call them heroes because they do a charity live stream once a month, and usually it's like 12-hour streams. They're 12 hours of them
working
on the camera. Yes, they have to keep the energy up. They have to keep things flowing. They have to keep people entertained. And then they've kind of flipped the script a bit and said, no, you guys are our heroes because you're the ones that are coming together as an actual community around us and doing things to help each other and to help other people.
That makes me think of an old leadership quote that says that a good leader is the first to take responsibility and the last to take credit.
That makes sense, yeah.
You know,
I can see that.
A good leader, a good manager, a good boss is the one who will say, hey, you're the ones that made it happen. I just made sure that you
had the opportunity to make
it happen.
Yeah, I gave you the opportunity. You're the ones that really made it happen. So that got me thinking, and the topic of this particular show is, what does it mean to be a hero? What does it take to be a hero?
Yeah, and I'm of a few minds about it, because I see a lot of the political stuff, and I'm not going to get into that. I see a lot of the political stuff, and I think about, I worry that we're making heroes out of people that aren't heroes. In a way, in my mind, heroes aren't real. Heroes are in fantasy novels and books and things like that for a reason. So prolific for a reason. Joseph Campbell wrote his book, Hero of 1,000 Faces, and he laid out that path in story form for what heroes are. But for individuals like you and me, and all of you who are watching this video right now, your heroes are either those kinds of heroes that live in fantasy, or they're the fireman that rescued you from a house, or they're that cop that showed up at just the right time, or they're that good Samaritan who just happened to be there.
Okay.
But all of those people aren't perfect people.
Well, no. I mean, and I don't think being a hero, I don't think one of the qualities of being a hero is being perfect. I don't think that's a quality of a hero, because every hero is flawed.
I agree. I feel like society wants heroes to be perfect. Yes,
I agree. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I think as a society we kind of throw the term hero around very, very loosely.
Yeah, because I think it's used too loosely. Too much.
Yes,
too much.
Now, yes, firemen, the fireman who runs into a burning building to save somebody is most definitely a hero.
I can't take that from them.
But does that mean that this person is perfect? No. They're not perfect. I'm sure they get into arguments with their spouse or their girlfriend. They get depressed. The world weighs on everybody.
Yeah.
So perfection is not anywhere near. Now, a lot of people do think that being a hero does mean perfection.
Yeah. Well, existing alone is a particular kind of mantle. There are responsibilities that come with that. And then, I guess, when we talk about civil heroes, I guess is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
When we talk about civil heroes, that is, people who are just like you and I, accepting another mantle on top of that.
They sacrifice something to help everybody. They potentially sacrifice their life. They sacrifice their time. They sacrifice their effort. They sacrifice
their mental well-being.
Yeah, exactly. Now, there are some cases where hero is kind of applied, and I'm kind of questioning. I do support the troops and the people that go into the military. I do not feel that being a member of the military automatically makes somebody a hero.
I thought about that quite a bit. Like, just because you signed on the dotted line, and just because you picked up a rifle, and just because you went through basic, when you graduate ROTC or basic, you are automatically, like, branded a hero? No.
A lot of people feel that way.
I feel like there are not only people who appreciate the military, who hold it to that standard, but I think there are people who go into the military and hold it to that standard too.
Yeah.
So they say, hey, I did the thing, so now I'm a hero and y'all need to lick my boot.
Yes, there are a lot of people like that. Kind of taking it back to more of a geek and a much more lighthearted situation. Sorry, we got kind of real there for you.
We got a little serious for a second there. Sorry about that.
But a lot of people say that Superman isn't a hero because there's no realistic threat to him.
Sort of like we were talking about in one episode, where prequels, where if we already know that they're going to be there later, they're not going to die, so there's not real danger. So
but Superman has one vulnerability.
Yeah, the one.
One vulnerability, and that's it. And a lot of people are saying, well, that he can't be a hero because he isn't putting himself at risk. And while I kind of understand that and agree with that to a certain extent, he also has to provide self-restraint. He could do anything he wanted. If he wanted to take over the planet, he could. Hands down, nobody's going to stop him. But he doesn't, and I think that's a moral fiber that is one of the indications of a hero.
Superman is Justice League's Captain America.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, in that pure heart of, I know what I can do, and I don't. But another thing I would add is that, like, everybody's in danger of mental well-being.
Yes.
And Superman, in all his iterations, goes through quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So even though he's invulnerable to most every attack that could possibly ever be rendered against him, he still has to live through it. He still has to experience everything else that happens. There
was a game that came out a short while ago called Justice League or Injustice: Gods Among Us.
Yeah.
It was kind of a fighting. It was a one-on-one fighting game.
It was another Realm Studios Mortal Kombat-esque DC universe.
But it had a very developed story. There is an alternate universe where the Joker blew up a nuclear bomb in Metropolis, killing Lois Lane and Superman's child. And Superman just lost it. He actually did take over the world and restricted what people can do, and his word is law. And they bring in the superheroes from another, from our, the Earth Prime or
Lex Luthor brings
212.
Yeah.
And basically says, hey, our Superman has lost his shit. We need your help. And it comes to the point where, eventually Superman comes over and he's, it's Superman on Superman. And he's the only one that can really stop him. And he's just like, I don't know what happened to you, but this is not okay.
It's not how it should go.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, yes, for Superman, there is a moral fiber there that prevents him. And and given drastic changes like losing his wife and son, yes, he could lose that edge, lose that moral fiber, and actually become a villain.
Oh, okay. So there was that part in Captain America, the first Avenger, the first of the new Captain Americas. We've been dogging the old ones plenty lately.
Yeah.
And I liked that whole movie well enough, but there's that moment. Like the general spends the whole time assessing him, even after he becomes Super Captain America. The general is still constantly assessing him. But the thing that made him change his mind was that moment when he threw a grenade down.
Right.
And everybody else ran.
Yeah, right. Everybody else ran.
And he's the one that jumped on it. He was the one willing to make the sacrifice. There's a part of me that makes me think, okay, well, you're a soldier.
Right.
That's doing your job. But every soldier at every moment of soldiering decides whether or not to do their job.
Yes, and I'm sure I have no doubt that in the character's mind, yes, Steve Rogers said, "This is my job. They accepted me into the military. I'm here to protect anybody I can. This is my job.
Mein Teil.
Yeah. This is what they hired me to do." Mm-hmm. But then you look at the general side and it's like, you are sacrificing your life. That is not an order that I gave you. I didn't tell you to jump on that grenade. Nobody told you to jump on that grenade. That was your choice. And that shows who you are inside that weak little body. Okay, so that's some of our feelings on what we think it takes to be a hero. Now, some of our favorite heroes. One of my biggest heroes, surprise, surprise, is actually the Doctor.
He's everything he needs to be.
But he's always changing, and he's in no means perfect, and he doesn't see himself as perfect. He sees himself as, there's a problem, I know the solution, let's fix this.
Or, I don't know, there is a problem, I don't know the solution yet, but I'm figuring it out.
Right.
And that seems to be the way most of us exist.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, why the Doctor is so appealing.
Yes, I think that's one of the biggest reasons that the Doctor has lived on for as long as he has. What would you say would be one of your big heroes?
I'm torn. I'm torn because I'm torn between two heroes who both have done terrible things. I'm somewhere between a Rorschach and a comedian.
Okay.
Because Rorschach and the comedian both, the thing that they had going between them was that they both saw the hypocrisy, the perversion of the world. And the comedian laughed at it and just kind of did his part in it because he felt powerless against it. And Rorschach felt like he was powerless against it, but wasn't going to accept it.
Okay. Interesting, because, yeah, I mean, both, like you said, both of them saw that there was a problem. And it almost kind of like the comedian took in the problem and said, okay, you want to play it this way, let's play it.
Are these the rules? These are the rules? Okay, I don't necessarily agree with the rules, but this is my arena that I can play in. And Rorschach made his own rules.
Yeah. And the comedian kind of reminds me of, kind of makes me think of one of the lines that everybody says these days. And it is what it is. It's, well, this is the rules. Oh. I can't change it. Just accept it.
Well, this is the Rorschach in me saying, there are ways to change the rules.
Exactly.
And there are ways to bend the rules, manipulate, and pervert those rules.
Well, one of the interesting things with Rorschach in particular is the fact that there is no gray. There is no middle ground. There is, this is right, this is wrong. This is good, this is bad.
And for the comedian, it was all gray.
Yeah, it was. There was no black and white.
Which is why I'm trapped between those two characters, those two dichotomies. It's like, I think those are the kind of, there's a yin and yang between those two characters there that
you're kind of somewhere in the.
I hope
you're
so many other people got.
Yeah, and your ideal would be somewhere in the middle there, somewhere between the two.
The ability to accept what I cannot change what I cannot accept. No, I really think at the end of the day, there's two kinds of heroes. There's the heroes that do the extraordinary thing at the extraordinary moment. They make that sacrifice at that time and place. And then I think There are other kinds of heroes, people who go out and do a little thing once or twice a week, randomly, without any kind of Congress or anything like that. They go out and they do the thing to make life better for as many people as possible in every little aspect that is available to them.
And I think that's the big thing with the idea of a hero. Is so many people look at the word, think about the word hero and look at the idea of a hero and say it has to be somebody extraordinary. And it doesn't. Anybody and everybody can be a hero to somebody. Nobody's ever going to be a hero to everybody.
No.
It's just not going to happen. But if you can make a difference in one person's life, you are a hero to that person.
So at the end of the day, we're doing our thing. We hope that you find it entertaining.
Absolutely. That is the goal for Ollamh Productions in particular. Is to make you smile.
Or to make you feel a little more enriched in some way, like over at the American Machine if you get political like that.
Anyway, what are some of your ideas as to what it takes to be a hero, and what are some of your favorite heroes?
Those are both very good questions because they're different for everyone, and I like seeing that dichotomy.
Yeah, it's the wide range should be interesting to see. And next week, we are going to be taking the flip side of this and looking at villains.
Yes, villains.
Which should be really fun.
Tragic heroes, truly evil, blah, blah, blah. Let's work on that one. So you think about that in the week in between that we leave you. And
as always, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions
in the American Machine.
We'll see you later.
Thanks for watching.